Hey everyone, it's the middle of the afternoon, I'm still in my pajamas. Um, but yeah, I thought I would make a sort of response to the responses that I've gotten to my gender identity video. So basically it seems like, this is a picture I'm seeing emerge right now. It seems that oh, I've got the flu. It's been chasing me around for 2 weeks and it finally got me. It seems like all the people with the gender identity are saying gender identity is set probably in utero. Fair enough. You know, due to the hormonal wash in the womb. When I guess the point is that it occurs when physical sex is determined, but then because of different balances of hormones, you can get someone who is like genetically male but has a female gender identity. I guess that was kind of what they were trying to say. But I'm familiar with those arguments. And that's fine. But I thought it was really interesting that everyone who had a gender identity was really sure about what it was, where it came from, and basically it was mostly a nature argument. And then the other androgynous people like me were all like, I don't know. I just think it's really funny, you know. Because seriously, I didn't really question it. I was just like, yeah, this is me. This is who I am. But that's because I kind of thought that everyone felt the same as me, in a sense. Like, I thought that everyone was sort of androgynous, and then people would like pretend to be more one way or the other. You know, like those girls that are like hyper femme, like, you know, they bleach their hair blonde, and you know, they always got their boobs hanging out, and they're always wearing pink and lots of makeup, and all, you know, it's hyper like our stereotype of femme thing. And I just thought, oh well, they must be insecure about their own attractiveness as people and their femininity, and that's why they behave like that. Same thing with like full-on football jocks, you know. I couldn't imagine that anyone's gender compass could swing that far either way. I tried to talk to my partner about it, and see, the thing is that he has messed up hormones as well. He's been exposed to too much estrogen. So his response was, yeah, of course no one has like a real gender identity. It's something programmed into you. Like, don't be retarded and stop thinking about it. Basically. But I could see that like some people did have one. A firm, fixed one. And that was the first time I'd actually seen that, because I know that, see, like, if someone is just, you know, they're cisgendered, as in, I'm female, identify as female, end of story, right? If someone is cisgendered, and they say, well, my gender identity is female, I'm sort of like, well, what else are you going to say? Because most people won't have contemplated it that much, I'm assuming. That was my assumption, right? But to see someone who was born into a male body and felt so strongly that they were female the whole time, I mean, that takes some real soul searching, and like, it's not something that you just go, hey, I think I'm gonna, you know, feel female. That's not fun. That's not something that someone would do on purpose, you know. And it made me think about myself and how I feel on those levels. And basically, the only reason that I now do identify as female, as in I have reconciled this with myself, wherever a self is, whatever a self is made from, you know, yeah, I had to do a lot of work on it. And the reason I came to a point where I wanted to make that reconciliation was because I was reading some New Agey book about the effect of like the mind and how people feel spiritually on their bodies, and some like illnesses that people had that, you know, if you heard the story of their life, you could kind of get how their mind could make their body have that disease. And I remember reading this book and thinking, holy crap, I am going to get, like, I'm going to die of, like, cancer of the uterus or something, you know? I'm going to die of cervical cancer because I am so dissociated from my body and don't like being in my body. I had this experience, like, I don't know if anyone else has had this, but it's, like, dissociation. So you don't feel like, you know, like, you don't look at your arm and go, wow, that's my arm. That's part of me, right? It's not like that at all. You, felt like a floating head. Like, this much was me. Just what I could see through my eyes, that was me. And the thing I was living in, my body, was just an object. And I didn't care what happened to it. This thing was just a form of currency that I used to get through life, get what I wanted, you know? But I didn't care. This wasn't me. I saw myself through what I kind of considered to be male eyes. And I know I've read in some feminist texts that this is something that, you know, other women have spoken about. So I don't know whether it's a gender thing or just like growing up in a crappy society thing. But I really kind of, you know, I'd have dreams or fantasies that I would be in a male body. And it was like a real, you know, it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. But at the same time, I know I'm so ambiguous that there would be no point doing anything about any of these things, because I would just flip back again. And I don't think it is psychological so much. Like, I mean, of course, you know, the mind, you know, and the hormonal system all link together. But what I'm saying is, like, it's not like something happened to me, you know, and you know, like one thing happens, I go this way, one thing happens, I go that way. It seems kind of like it floats around and it can go either way. And also, I mean, I kind of, like, you know, I thought about all the, you know, sex reassignment stuff. I did think about it. But there's no point, because when it comes down to it, I would just be this tiny little guy and with no dick. The thing is, right, I definitely have like a very strong, I mean, maybe it's like a two-spirit thing, you know, in a sense. I have very strong masculine side, and I can almost characterize, like, I'm not saying I have like split personality syndrome or anything. I'm just saying I could almost sort of see who this person would be if they were allowed a body of their own. You know, and for him, okay, this is strange. For him, he's very vain. He's very, very vain. And for him to be that small guy, that, like, as we call amongst my friends the omega male, you know, instead of the alpha male, to be that small guy would be less satisfying than to be a woman, because he sees advantages in being a woman. And I think part of this is because that he's also quite effeminate and a bit gay. So I am just coming out there, I'm just being, my YouTube channel is about me being completely honest. So me saying all this loopy shit, whatever. Those of you who are my friends, you'll still like me even though you think I'm loopy. And those of you who are, like, not my friends, well, you'll either think I'm cool or not. As the gypsies say, the opinions of others about you are none of your business. And I totally agree with that. Oh, and P.S.